could the panel share their views on the opportunities and the challenges for biogenic CO2 as a replacement for fossil-based CO2? Perhaps we'll come to you first, Jeff, if you've got any take on this.
By the biogenics, are you referring to char and then that type of synthetic process?
Yeah, derived from waste in that whole circular economy.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great opportunity. Again, it hasn't proven to be scalable, but what I like about it is the regional micro distribution of it. You take pistachios, shells, or holes and husks, and things of that nature that Stephen referenced earlier. Those can be done anywhere. So, the biggest cost of CO2 once produced is obviously the distribution and transportation cost of getting it to its point of use. So for us, if you're producing it on site or in a concentrated, dense populated area where you're going to utilize it, say a wastewater treatment facility or concrete curing, then it makes a tremendous amount of sense if we can get the cost of production down. I haven't seen that it can do that, but I think that's where the investment needs to go. And so it kind of dovetails into the conversation of 45Q. 45Q is just focused on incentivizing sequestration, not about reducing the overall amount of CO2 produced. You're just getting paid to capture what you are producing, not produce less. So I think it's a great opportunity to do it, or to reduce CO2 emissions overall, maintain security of supply. It just has to, the investment or the innovation has to be there to get it cost effective on a per ton basis.
Sure, thanks, Jeff. 45Q coming in there again. I know Tom's got another question in a moment. Before we do move on, Jeff, do you have any systems available or any capability to help with biogenic CO2 in Latin America? We've got that question come in from one of our viewers.
Certainly. Well, we don't do the upfront process, but we do all the purification, reconcentration, liquefaction, and storage and distribution thereafter. So we don't do the char process itself. There's a lot of different technologies out there. Always certainly looking to partner and advance that, of course. But everything thereafter downstream is where our focus is.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully that's at least in part addressed Ursula's inquiry there. Torsten, we'll just come to you for a minute for a European view. What's your take on biogenic CO2?
I think it's a great opportunity, and we do have customers who are basically looking at the business models there and using basically sequestering biogenic produced CO2. And depending on the funding scheme, I got the feedback that it might work in Europe, because just use it as carbon dioxide sink. And I think the whole society-wise, we should focus on those areas where you can capture the most and sequester most of the carbon dioxide for the back. It's really important to keep that in mind, because at the end of the day, for the whole society, it doesn't really matter where the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is coming from which process. So we, as a whole, as a society, we have to focus on emitters where it is easy to capture the carbon dioxide. And if it is biogenic, that's fine. If there are other processes, that's fine as well. So I think that's really important. So because at the end of the day, if you compare biogenic capturing biogenic carbon dioxide to, for example, carbon dioxide capturing direct air capturing, you basically use a lot more energy to capture it, and more energy means more money, because at least today, the power outlet, all the energy coming out of the power outlet is not free of charge.